Hello students, welcome again to my YouTube channel. Today we shall discuss about the topic internal resistance, terminal potential difference and EMF of a cell. Myself Mr. Santosh Kumar Padhi, PGT Physics, Kendriya Vidyalaya Berhampur. In today's session we are going to discuss the cell as a source of EMF, then the meaning of EMF, internal resistance and terminal voltage or terminal potential difference of a cell, then connecting a cell to an external circuit, and of course we shall discuss some numerical examples also. So let us first discuss what is a cell. A simple device to maintain a steady potential difference in an electrical circuit is called a cell. It has two electrodes, the positive P and the negative N. The electrodes, with the help of some chemical reaction, exchange ions with the electrolyte. As a result of this chemical reaction, the positive electrode acquires or accumulates some positive ion on it, and the negative electrode accumulates some negative ion on it. So with respect to the electrolyte, the positive electrode has a potential difference of V positive or say V plus between itself and the electrolyte. Similarly, the negative electrode develops a negative potential, that means minus V negative, where V negative is a positive quantity. It is relative to the electrolyte. So the total potential difference between P and N is V positive minus negative of V negative. That means V positive plus V negative. Now this difference is called the electromotive force of the cell, and it's denoted by E. Now this E is always greater than 0. Why it is so? Say the positive terminal suppose acquired a voltage of plus 1 volt, and suppose the negative electrode acquires a potential of minus 1 volt. So the potential difference between the two electrodes will be plus 1 minus minus 1. That will give you plus 2 volt. So this is the reason the EMF always comes to be positive. Now come to the second term, the internal resistance of a cell. The opposition offered by the electrolyte of the cell to the flow of electric current through it is called the internal resistance. So just like a conductor which opposes the current flow through it, the electrolyte also offers some opposition to the flow of current through it. This opposition is called internal resistance. Now let us discuss how various factors affect the internal resistance of a cell. First one is the separation between the electrodes. As the separation becomes more, the length of the electrolyte through which the current have to pass also increases. As a result, the internal resistance also increases. Second term is the conductivity. The more conductive the electrolyte is, more easily the current can pass through it. So the internal resistance will decrease if conductivity of the electrolyte is more. Third point is the internal resistance. It depends upon the common area between the electrodes. More common area means the current have more space to travel, so they can pass easily, and hence the internal resistance will decrease. Fourth point is temperature. Now it is a debatable point. With increase in temperature, the internal resistance of most cells decreases. This is in contrary to our common concept of temperature dependence of resistance of a good conductor. In metals, the resistance increases with increasing temperature. But in case of most of the cells, the internal resistance decreases with increasing temperature. It is because in most of the cells, the electrolyte is in the form of some paste or some gel-like material. Just like the usual dry cells which we purchase, the A size battery or double A size cell or remote cells, the common cells. In this common type of cells, the electrolyte is not in the form of a solution, rather it is in the form of a gel or paste. So when temperature increases, the ions from the electrolyte can easily diffuse into this electrolyte. That's why with increase in temperature, the internal resistance of most of the cells decreases. The fifth point is the concentration of electrolyte. Again here, if the concentration is too low or too high, in both the cases the internal resistance of the cell increases. Now let's come to the next term, that is the EMF of a cell. The EMF is the potential difference between the positive and negative terminals of a cell in an open circuit. Open circuit means when it is not connected to a load resistance or external resistance. Now see the diagram. In the diagram, if the resistance is infinite, that means it is a open circuit. So under infinite resistance, that means in an open circuit, the current flowing through the cell will be V by R. It's according to Ohm's law, and that will be equal to 0. So the potential difference between P and N, you see the second diagram, the diagram given below. The potential difference between P and N, that means the positive and the negative electrode, is equal to potential difference between P and A plus potential difference between A and B plus potential difference between B and N. Because P, A, AB and BN, these are all in series, and series is a potential divider circuit. Now see, the potential difference between the positive electrode and A is V positive. Potential difference between B and the negative electrode is V negative, and potential difference between AB will be 0 times the resistance, 0 times internal resistance, because current is 0. So the potential difference between A and B is 0. So the total potential difference between the two terminals of the cell comes to be V plus plus V minus, which is equal to EMF of the cell. So EMF is the potential difference between the positive and negative electrodes in an open circuit. That means when no current is flowing through the cell, then the potential difference between the two terminals of the cell is called its EMF. Now suppose the cell is connected to a finite resistor. That means it is connected across an external resistance. When connected across an external resistance, then the second term, that means the potential drop between A and B, or the potential drop across the electrolyte, is no more 0, because some current is flowing and there is some internal resistance. So some potential will drop across the electrolyte. So the total potential difference between P and N now will be EMF minus I into R. See here in this equation, the negative sign of IR means the current is flowing from B to A in the electrolyte, not from A to B. That's why the potential difference comes to be minus IR. Now this potential difference between the two terminals of the cell in a closed circuit. Closed circuit means when current is being drawn out of the cell, then the potential difference between the two terminals of the cell is called terminal potential difference or the terminal voltage of a cell. Now, how does this terminal potential difference change with the amount of current drawn from the cell? Consider the equation V equal to E minus IR from the previous page. It resembles the equation of a straight line, that is y is equal to mx plus c, where m is the slope and in this case it's equal to minus r, and c is the constant that is equal to E. So the V versus I graph will be a straight line with a negative slope. Now the y-intercept, that means the voltage intercept of the graph is the value of V when I equal to 0. So see from the above equation, if you put I equals 0, then V will be equal to E. So the intercept of the y-axis here gives the EMF. Similarly, put V equal to 0 and you get the intercept of the x-axis is equal to EMF by internal resistance. And the slope of the graph as discussed earlier is minus R. So negative of slope will give the internal resistance of the cell. Now, what is a primary cell? A cell which can be used only once and cannot be recharged is called a primary cell. So the primary cell converts the chemical energy already stored in its electrolyte into electrical energy by an irreversible chemical reaction. The example of primary cell are the common types of cells which we use once and throw. The dry cells used in torch, in our watches, then in remotes, etc. These are all primary cells. Secondary cells are rechargeable cells. These cells convert chemical energy into electrical energy by a irreversible chemical reaction. The reverse process of the chemical reaction is called the process of charging. The example of secondary cell are lithium ion cells, lithium polymer cells, which are generally used in mobile phones, the nickel cadmium cells, which are generally used in cameras. Now, battery is a combination of cells. Charging of a battery. For charging, the current is passed through the cell in the opposite direction. That means from the positive terminal to the negative terminal inside the battery. Now, since the current inside the battery flows in the opposite direction as compared to the discharging process, so the equation V equals to E minus IR now becomes V equal to E plus IR because the direction of current is reversed. So during charging process, the terminal potential difference is E plus IR. That means it is greater than the EMF of the cell. So if EMF of a particular cell is say 5 volt, suppose the EMF of a battery is 5 volt, then the terminal potential difference of the battery will always be less than 5 volt. Always be. But during charging process, the case is reverse. During charging, we need to connect a potential difference greater than 5 volt for its charging. Now some numerical problems for you to practice, students. Question number 1. A storage battery have EMF 8 volt and internal resistance 0.5 ohm. It's the written W, it's actually ohm. So resistance of 0.5 ohm, and it is being charged by a 120 volt DC supply using a series resistance of 15.5 ohm. Now what is the terminal voltage of the battery during charging? And what is the purpose of having a series resistor in the charging circuit? The second question, it is a similar graph which I have used earlier. The following graph shows the variation of terminal potential difference across a combination of three cells in series to a resistor versus current. Now you need to calculate the EMF of each cell, then for what current I will the power dissipation in the circuit be maximum. Okay students, that's all for today. Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.